as the worsening state of insecurity, the dwindling oil prices, and the dire consequences of COVID-19 pandemic continues to take a toll on our economy. Mr. Speaker, one of the often mentioned reasons for high rates of unemployment, youth unemployment in the country, is our educational system, which experts say is designed to produce graduates for white-collar jobs, jobs that are readily available or that are not enough to satisfy the population of teeming youth that we have. And this educational system, rather than it doesn't make them become entrepreneurs or employers of labor. Unfortunately, this has led to unabated poverty, which in turn has spiked widespread insecurities such as terrorism, kidnapping, robbery, and other violent crimes across the country. We all know the saying, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. This dire situation, my dear colleagues, require that the Parliament, this People's Parliament, should urgently come up with legislative instruments that will fine-tune our educational system. And this is what this bill before this Hello Chamber seeks to do. The bill, in essence, seeks to mainstream the study of vocational subjects such as carpentry, fashion design, makeup, catering, event planning, just to mention a few, into our core educational system, from the GS level to the SS level, in such a way as to transform all our secondary schools into skill acquisition centers. And by doing so, my colleagues, will be catching them young. In other words, it is preparing our young people for employment in the workplace by equipping them early enough with the right mindset, as well as with the right job-specific and employability skills, which will connect them with the business community, either as workers or as entrepreneurs and small business owners. My dear colleagues, this is the globally proven route, because virtually every thriving economy world over, like the US, the China, India, their economy is anchored and sustained by small businesses and entrepreneurial spirit. One sure foundation for that to happen is to fully integrate the vocational training into the core educational system of our economy. In essence, Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, this bill I'm proposing before us today, when passed, will ensure that our teeming youths are readily employable, they will gain invaluable entrepreneurship skills, and ultimately become, which is the most important part, self-reliant. If we can achieve this, my dear colleagues, this will not only lower the unemployment rate, it will reduce the poverty levels in Nigeria, youth restiveness, it will reduce insecurity and crimes across our country. It will also stimulate the social economic growth and development of the country. So what this bill intends to do is to make the development and teaching of vocational subjects compulsory for secondary school across the country, be it public or private, to make it mandatory for every secondary school graduate to have a credit pass in at least one vocational subject as prerequisite for further studies in higher institutions in Nigeria. This bill also seeks to produce a legislative instrument that will back the efforts and policies of government, especially with regards to the implementation of national vocational education and training policies. And in conclusion, my dear colleagues, let me quote a former US Senator, Conrad Banks, and he said, "Vocational education programs have made a real difference in the lives of young people nationwide. They build self-confidence, leadership skills by allowing students to utilize their unique gifts and talent. And with this in mind, Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I crave your indulgence that this bill be read the second time. I so submit.